Has driven a strong and calculated race. Andy Fusco has some thoughts on that Horton effort.
You know, a lot of people say that you can't win at Syracuse if you make more than 2 pit stops. Well, throw that theory out the window. Last year, Horton made 3 stops and won it. This year, he's made 3 stops and he's in the catbird seat right now. Obviously, Winston Cup experience has paid off for these guys. The Dick, the rain's getting harder.
White flag has been displayed. We're ready to go back under the green flag. There's a good look at Jimmy Horton. John Strupp is a lapped car right behind him. Right behind Strupp is a very anxious Kenny Brightbill. Going down into 3. Pace car is out of the way into the infield runoff. And the green flag getting set to come back out. Horton sets a slow pace. Now he gets on it.
That's the latest start we've seen all afternoon, but Horton made it work for him, didn't he?
And Kenny Brightbill trying to make something work for him, trying to come by John Strupp, and does. Look at Hoffman and Johnson. They've got Strupp also. In fact, Hoffman got by him. Johnson did not. So Alan Johnson is going to lose some ground to the leaders right here, trying to come by 24 John Strupp. But it is Jimmy Horton, the defending champion, out in front. And the George Smith own number 85.
You can see the lead that he's opened up in this thing as well. Horton is, maybe he's complaining about his tires over the radio, but he is running very, very well right now, able to open up that lead almost at will, seemingly.
Well, Kenny Brightbill, after coming by Strupp, is running about 2 seconds behind the leader, trying to close ground in the corner. And Alan Johnson finally gets by Strupp to move solidly into the 4th position. For the front 4 cars are now running virtually bumper to bumper. Then a couple of lap cars, and 5th running Jack Johnson, who is back in 5th. With just 27 laps remaining in the Miller High Life 300. Jimmy Horton, the leader, is well in control of the event. The last lap, 33.4 seconds, and this one faster at 33 seconds on the nose. So once again, under the green, Horton ready to pick it up. And even though we might say that the track is getting a little bit slick, they are running about as fast as they have run all day long.
This little bit of water doesn't hurt them in terms of speed or control or any of the rest of it. You'd certainly rather not see any rain on the speedway, but it does not seem to be bothering anybody's performance here at all.
Well, Brightbill not losing any ground to the race leader, but on the other hand, he's not able to close in any either. He is trying mightily to do that, and they are getting away from 3rd place Doug Hoffman. Kenny Brightbill in 2nd. Just wants one more shot at race leader Jimmy Horton, but he's going to have a caution flag, I think, to try to catch Horton, because Horton just keeps turning up the wick.
Yeah, and something's going to have to happen to Horton for Brightbill to be able to get by him. Brightbill has been strong all day, but not nearly as strong as Jimmy Horton at any given point. And he certainly is aware of what's going on with the weather, how many laps we have left. And if he was able to, Jimmy Horton right now would find Kenny Brightbill right on his back bumper. But Brightbill he can keep up the pace pretty much, but every lap he falls back another 4 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, and that's all it takes.
And Doug Hoffman continuing to run in 3rd, Alan Johnson 4th. As you watch the leaders, they're taking a little bit different line through the 3rd turn. Horton is usually trying to miss that hole in turn 3. Brightbill, he doesn't care. He'll run through anything, and he has been going through the hole and does it again right there as they come between 3 and 4.
Brightbill really got burned with that hole last year because there's 4th place Alan Johnson. He hit it and he wound up breaking a hub on his race car. He says that the problem with that hole is there's no way he can miss it because his car will not work in the loose stuff. If he gets up there a little bit in the marbles, the car just won't run. He's going to lose control of the automobile, so he has got to take it through the bumps.
We've been watching Alan Johnson in the 14J. He has been running a great race and up in the top 5, currently running 4th. But it's got to be a disappointing thing when you think you've got a shot at the leaders and you're virtually bumper to bumper on a restart, and then you see him just walk right away from you, as the front 3 cars have on Johnson. The front 3 being Jimmy Horton, Kenny Brightbill, and Doug Hoffman. Alan continues to run in 4th, and he's been having to manhandle that car the entire day. There's one of the fastest laps of the race, Dick, 32.5 seconds, 32.575, the last lap for race leader Jimmy Horton.
The racetrack now is so packed down that periodically, even up here in the glass enclosed announce booth, we hear tires squealing.
Johnson, Alan has, with that, here's the 3rd place running Doug Hoffman, but Alan Johnson with that body panel loose and having to fight the car, he is probably going to be more physically drained than probably any other driver out here.
Yeah, he may well be, because without the downforce in the back end, what that's going to do is it's going to make the back end of the car want to come around, a condition known as loose, and that is very, very difficult to control. Mentally, it's difficult to control. Physically, it's not as tough as a car that's pushing or understeering, but you're always worried, you're always thinking, and sometimes the mental exertion is worse than the physical exertion, and I think that's the case in a very long race such as this one. We are coming up to lap 168, 20 to go. Alan Johnson and the rest are running out of time to catch this man, Jimmy Horton. He has been in control of the latter stages of this race. We are now looking at second place, Brightbill, and as we watch the clocks, it seems as if Horton is actually picking up speed over the rest of the field. And we have a yellow flag on the racetrack. Yellow flag.
And that comes over between 3 and 4.
Oh, there is a car. There is a car in the wall over there.
Yeah, it's a blue car. I can see it. It might be Billy Decker. It's behind the flagger stand from here. It is Billy Decker in the 91. He's run a good race too, and he has run some big races here at the end of the year. A couple of 200-lap races and a 100-lap race at the end of the season. It's his best year ever.
As we pick up the replay, watch the top of the screen as Decker here is already in trouble. He hits the wall hard and almost rolls his car over. The damage now done. Decker slides along the wall, keeping out of the way. Bill Decker's second and final accident of the day sends him to the pits as a spectator.
Well, as we look at Horton coming down the front straight, the race leader, they're hooking the 91 of Billy Decker over between 3 and 4. And on the subject of Decker, Danny Johnson blew an engine in his car before today, borrowed a backup motor from 91 Decker. It's a Walt Markert Larry List engine. They changed it this morning, put it in the 27. That was not the problem with that car when Danny dropped out of the action.
Can Brightbill catch Horton? Andy Fusco has a view from the pits.
Eugene Mills, owner of Kenny Brightbill's number 30, 172 laps down, and this caution's drawn you right up on Horton's back bumper. Can you beat him?
We'll see at 188. I don't know. He's running pretty strong.
Eugene Mills wondering just exactly what all you viewers are wondering. Maybe his man can do it.
And we'll see now if Kenny Brightbill has been able to get pumped up, or Doug Hoffman or Alan Johnson, now that they have seen a restart and have seen the rear bumper of Jimmy Horton right in front of them. Horton opens up a little bit of an advantage. Carl Fuzzy Van Horn shreds a tire on the front straight.
They're going to try to get Van Horn into the pit area, and he will get into the pit area. There will be no caution. Green will remain on the speedway. You see Van Horn right there, and he's going to go the wrong way on pit road to try to get up to his pit so they can change that tire. He has unfortunately, however, stalled the car sitting there, no one working on him, and he's going to go some more laps down. Meanwhile, we are watching your leader, Jimmy Horton, right behind him, Brightbill, looking stronger than we've seen him in many laps. At least Brightbill is not slipping back at all. He's not been able to really challenge Horton, but he's been hanging in there.
But Horton is right now 9/10 of a second slower than he was on the last lap under the green before the yellow came out. Just turned a lap of, and Horton hit the wall! Horton hit the wall.
Just flat, lost it going into the third turn. Jimmy Horton and Kenny Brightbill slides underneath it. What a development. Brightbill inherits the lead when Horton hits the wall in the third turn.
He got just too far outside going into 3. The car slid out, slammed the wall. In fact, I really didn't think he'd be able to bring it off the wall. There would have more damage. He comes back off. He is still running in second.
Which is remarkable. What a job by Horton. I don't think he ever lifted once he lost it. Went up in the wall. Boom, he hit it a ton. There you see where he did it.
Andy Fusco may have some answers from the Horton pit.
Mike Mayberry, did your man tell you what happened up there in turn 3?
No, he didn't say why he got out into the fence. He said it feels like the torque tube's been in the car, though, so he's going to do the best he can with what he's got.
Any chance of him catching Brightbill now?
We're going to give it a shot.
Still hope in the Horton team.
Your leader, Kenny Brightbill, is taking off from the rest of the field. If he wins this, what a story. Kenny Brightbill has never won Syracuse.
But he has won big races. He's run them in modifieds. He's won them in late models. He is a top-notch competitor. He is 48 years of age. A long-time competitor and always runs for the front. He always runs as fast as he can. And he is out in front right now. The second time he has led the race with 12 laps to go. We just completed lap number 176 of the Miller High Life 300, which is 300 kilometers, 188 laps. Kenny Brightbill out in front, and Jimmy Horton who smacked the wall, lost first place, is pulling away from third running Doug Hoffman.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
He is. He's gotten some more steam from somewhere in that car. Maybe the adrenaline is pumping a little bit harder than it was at first. This is Horton now running in second spot, solidly running in second. Look at him throw that car through the corners. Horton running flat out, running that thing absolutely as hard as it will go. He's going to have to answer to his father-in-law that owns this automobile when he comes in and explain exactly what happened in the third turn. There'll be a lot less explaining if he can eat up the distance between himself, Brightbill, and take this win. But time is running out. We are on lap 177. He has 11 laps to do it. Brightbill, your leader.
Brightbill having trouble coming by Fuzzy Van Horn right now, the 71E. As Horton is closing ground, you got to wonder why there was no flat tire when Horton pounded the wall over in turn 3. Now Brightbill gets by Van Horn. Let's see if Fuzzy causes himself to be a jam car for runner-up Jimmy Horton. Yes, he does, going down into the first turn. Not really much of a chance to pass anywhere between 1 and 2. But Jimmy Horton is definitely running down the 30 of Kenny Brightbill. I don't think he's got enough time to do it. He's got 10 laps to catch him. He certainly has enough time to do that, but Brightbill, a seasoned veteran, is certainly not going to give any kind of room at all to Jimmy Horton if Horton comes up behind him.
No, and Brightbill is an absolute master at consuming racetracks. He is one of the people who seems to have a sixth sense to know where the car behind him is. It's almost as if he feels the car, even if the car is 10 feet back there.
A flat right front tire brings the 17 of Toby Tobias back into the field. Second generation driver whose dad won this race not all that long ago. But it's Kenny Brightbill, and Brightbill goes way high coming out of turn 3 that time, as did Jimmy Horton again. The track, if you go through the hole, you get bounced around. If you get a little bit outside, you're out in the marbles. And either way, it's not the best of situations coming through turn number 3. Once again, a slower car just ahead of your leader as they come down off turn 2 down the back straight. And Dick, look at how much ground Horton has closed up on Kenny Brightbill. Horton is running this thing flat out. We are running right now in lap number 181.
He's going to have to go into the third turn on the outside. Let's see if whoa, Horton way up in the loose stuff, but he manages to keep it. He hung on to it. The gap, indeed, Roy has closed down between Brightbill, your leader, and Horton running in second spot.
Hard to imagine 180-some laps into the race. A car in trouble is Doug Hoffman. Hoffman coasts down the front chute. He is in big problems. He is going to try to bring it up into the infield on the front straight and does. No yellow on the track. 181 laps completed. We're running in lap number 182. Kenny Brightbill.
Hoffman had been running in third. He's now backing up in the pits, and the crew is going to put fuel in the car.
Right now, Horton has closed right up on Brightbill. They're coming around to complete lap number 182, 6 laps remaining, and there is no ground between Kenny Brightbill, the leader, and Jimmy Horton running in second. Horton is just about 2 car lengths behind, closes up a little more in the corner. A phenomenal effort by Jimmy Horton in the number 85. He closes up even tighter coming off turn number 2. They got a slower car ahead. Slower cars could very well play a big part in the end of this one, Dick. A lap car at the wrong time. Look, they're both sideways.
They are right on top of each other. What a finish this is going to be. Let's hope they are both still running all the way through lap 188. Horton now has moved. He is almost no distance between himself and the leader. 5 to go. 5 to go, and Brightbill is a full second slower than Horton was earlier, running 34.5 seconds on that last lap. And this crowd is on its feet. There is no one in this packed grandstand that is sitting at the moment. They are all standing. This is what they came for. The last lap shootout. The guy who left dirt track racing to go Winston Cup racing. The guy who left this sanctioning body to go run with a competitor. They are both slugging it out. They both have their fans. They both have their detractors. Everybody feels for these people.
Well, we're running in lap number 185, just over 3 laps to go. A 33.5 again for Kenny Brightbill. Horton has chased him down. The thing is, he can't get close enough to make a move, at least not so far. Again, they're coming up on a slower car. They've been in slower traffic the last several laps. Brightbill trying to pick his way by. Horton looking to see what Brightbill does. They come off the corner. Brightbill a little bit sideways. A hole coming up now in turn number 4. They are through that. They come to the outside of Toby Tobias down into the first turn. 3 laps to go. Tobias gets himself between first and second. That cost Jimmy Horton a lot of ground. It may have cost Horton the race.
It cost him dearly, no doubt about that. You can see the distance. There is virtually no time remaining now for Horton to make up that lost ground and take the lead.
Well, they'll have 2 laps to go coming around, and now a slower car slows down Brightbill. And Horton is right back in on him. Horton is on the outside, looking to come by Kenny Brightbill. They come off the corner. They slide to the high side of the slower car. Horton is down low. Brightbill on the outside. 2 laps to go. He could not quite get a wheel underneath. That was the closest he has been since losing the lead to Kenny Brightbill a dozen laps ago. But Brightbill on the hammer down the back straight. They'll get the white flag this time. We got a lap and a half remaining.
And Brightbill saw Horton. That's the first time he absolutely was sure of where Horton was. He saw him when Horton got that wheel under, and Brightbill took off. Maybe he had some extra, maybe he had some left over. Brightbill now opening a bit of a gap between himself and Horton.
We'll see when they combine this time. The lap time, 33.1. He picked it up by 0.3 of a second. Kenny Brightbill, white flag one more time around. A great race for Brightbill, a great race for Horton. Alan Johnson running back in third. Doug Hoffman is in fourth. Jack Johnson riding out the top 5 as they go down into the third turn. The battle is for the front spot, and it's going to take a major break. They're going to have a slower car ahead of them coming off turn number 4. Kenny Brightbill, the race leader, swings high off the 4th turn. Through that hole that developed in turn 4, the checkered flag is out. Kenny Brightbill gets the win. Jimmy Horton finishes in 2nd. Alan Johnson is 3rd. Doug Hoffman 4th. Jack Johnson finishes in 5th.
Let's go down to the joyous Brightbill pit. Andy, take it away.
Eugene Mills, how does this one feel?
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute. George!
Absolute ecstasy down here in the Blue Hen pit. My wife doesn't hug this hard. Eugene, you're one of the happiest men I've ever seen.
It's been a long time coming, I'll tell you. Dirt has been great to us, all of our sponsors. It's been a long